We're ready to go.
You ready to go?
Back to the future.
That was delayed. Anyway, hey guys, how's it going? So our last video ended on a cliffhanger. Because we wanted. Okay, no, it wasn't some sort of big joke we had planned. Honestly, our camera just kind of died on us, and we haven't really had time to finish it because Jordan has school and I'm lazy. And so
That's for being lazy.
So we're gonna finish it for you right now. We also have a good number of other movies that we want to talk about.
We do.
We do.
I can only think of one.
There's like 4 of them. We have. Anyway, well, we'll get to them as they come. For the first, we'll finish Thor. Since that video, we have actually seen it a second time in 3D.
Right?
In 3D. So we're actually gonna add more to it.
Well, some of us are going to add more to it.
I'm gonna add more to it, and Jordan's gonna say what he thought.
Thanks.
Thanks. Anyway, don't lose that.
What is this?
I'll tell you later. Now, what did you think of Thor?
It was okay. After seeing it a second time, I actually liked it less than the first time. But, you know, that happens. The more you see it, the more you grow to dislike it. I do feel that what Natalie Portman has is not love. It is lust. She only loves him for his body. She does not like him for him. Also, I do think that Thor and Loki and Odin are all perfectly cast. Like, their actors, especially Loki, portrayed the character that they're portray the character that they're trying to be very well. What are your second thoughts?
My second thoughts?
Next time I go first.
I still like it as much as I did the first time. I still think it's the best superhero movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Until I see Captain America and Green Lantern anyway. We'll judge at that point on those. And the new Spider-Man movie. But I honestly think it's good.
Do you feel that what Natalie Portman has is love? Love? True love?
I don't think that Natalie Portman's that special of an actress, really. I mean, I think she does what she does.
Her character is supposed to be Thor's love interest. Do you feel what they have is love? Yes or no?
I feel that they have about as much love as any other character in which they meet and then a day later are falling in love.
No.
That happens
I feel even less.
I've seen lots of movies where that's the same case, where it's like they meet and then they're full in love all of a sudden.
But at least but see, at least in those movies it feels like they're in love. This, it doesn't feel, okay, maybe it feels like she's infatuated with him. It doesn't feel like he really has any connection with her.
Anyways, what are you gonna score it? Oh, and in the video, I said something about spoilers. I honestly can't remember what that was, what I was thinking of. So, that will forever remain a mystery, because I can't remember what I was gonna say. Anyway, what are you gonna score it?
I'm torn between a 7 and a 7.5. I think I'm going to give it a 7.5.
I'm going to give it an 8. Because I really, really love it. I think it's awesome.
It was okay.
So next up, we have the romantic comedy Arthur, which we saw a while ago. And Jordan probably doesn't remember any of it because he's got terrible memory, but we're going to go.
What was that one about again?
That was Russell Brand, and he's a rich guy. And
oh, Arthur, right, yes.
See? Told you.
I'm sorry, okay? That's why we normally do the review like a day after.
Yeah, we didn't have time. Okay, now what did you think about Arthur?
From what I remember, I thought it was pretty okay. It was your classic movie of that variety.
Now, yeah, I mean, it's about as good as any romantic comedy you're ever going to see. The thing that does bug me about it...
Sorry to interrupt real quick. It felt more like a kiddie romantic comedy.
No, I disagree. I don't... See, I think Russell Brand is only... Well, he's the same actor in every movie, but he's only funny when he's allowed to go and do what he wants with a role. Like, when he felt so watered down, and it just wasn't as funny.
It felt like that one movie that he was in.
Did I get him to the Greek?
Get him to the Greek, but diluted and without the other actor.
Yeah, the thing is, he's only funny when he's allowed to be R-rated, and when he's not allowed to be R-rated, he's just not
as funny.
I do like his comedic timing. I think it's very, very good, very, very witty, but it's just not.
Maybe it was also partly the actress that he was with.
Maybe. Okay, now, what are you going to score? I do have something very spoiler that I do want to say about that. That
what are
movie.
you going to give it? I went first last time.
Okay, then after Jordan gives a score, then I'll tell you what it is. I'm going to give it a 5.
5?
Very mediocre.
Probably give it a 5.5. It was, from what I remember,
now,
pretty okay.
I'm going to say some spoiler. We still have more to talk about, so skip over the next couple seconds.
If you don't want to hear it.
If you don't want to hear it, if you don't care, continue to watch. It really pissed me off that he got the money in the end. It was like the whole thing was he doesn't get the money if he gets the girl, but he just, he makes nice with his mother, and all of a sudden he gets all the money. What the fuck? That really pisses me off.
I don't care. He still had to learn the hard lessons, so.
Yeah. And the other thing that cracks me up is, okay, Arthur is a remake of, I don't know, 1980s movie, 90s movie or something like that. And the character that, what's her face?
Actress number 257.
Hobson. The character of Hobson, Helen Mirren. The character of Hobson, played by Helen Mirren, is originally played by a male, which the character's name is still Hobson. All the fact that they turned into a female role, but yet didn't change the name.
Well, I mean, that doesn't really bother me. Because, I mean,
it's still the same character. It's still Hobson.
It doesn't really bother me because, I mean, you could really play that off as a last name. And if it's a last name, then it doesn't really matter.
Put that down.
No.
Next movie, Source Code. What did you have to say about Source Code?
I thought it was really good. I want to watch that again. Let's go watch that right now.
Okay. No, we're not really gonna go watch it. But it was so. Go.
I felt that it was a very unique idea.
Well, okay, I disagree with you on that.
To a point.
It's
to a point.
It was well done. The whole repeating the same day over and over again has been done like Groundhog. It's like the whole repeating the same events and having a person change in different ways. Time has been done a million times.
Yeah. What I meant was that it's done very well.
Well, absolutely, it's done amazingly well.
It was done. That's the best way to describe it.
Okay.
And there are certain things that happen in the movie. Me and Justin are usually pretty good at foretelling things.
I'm a cynic, so I see things coming like a mile away. But
there's a certain event in this movie, which we'll mention later, which caught us both off guard.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your opinion?
My opinion, it's a very good movie. It not only does it catch me out by surprise, catch me off guard, which again no movie ever does. It is deep, and also you even get to like themes of existentialism, of higher meaning, of higher thought. It's
though
really,
we're pretty sure that's not what they intended.
Yeah, I'll say it's not. But you can breathe symbolism and depth into a movie that maybe it isn't there, maybe it is there, but at the same time you can do that, which I don't do because I think that's asinine. But when the movie makes me do that, it's very impressive. So, would you gonna score it? What? Score it?
I'm thinking a 9, maybe a 9.5.
9.5 for me, definitely. It was a very good movie. Go watch it.
The fact that I want to watch it again is pushing it.
Seriously, go watch it. Pause the video, go watch the movie, then come back.
And
we still got more to talk about. We've still got some more to talk about. Come back, continue watching it, okay? Now, we just got back from Kung Fu Panda 2. What do you think about? And actually, the funny thing about this is very unique. We actually spent the entire drive home talking about Transformers, so we actually haven't even talked about the movie yet, which is very unique for us. So, what did you think about Kung Fu Panda 2?
I thought it was done pretty well. I like it at least as much as the first one, and I like the first one quite a bit. I think they did it pretty well. I like that in this one, like they're giving kind of Poe's backstory, because there was always that thing that his dad was a goose and he was a panda, right? Which in the first one they never really explained.
Don't spoil it too much. They explain it. They go delve deeper into his backstory about why his dad is a goose, and that's all we're gonna tell you until you watch the movie in theaters right now.
But yeah, as I was saying before I was interrupted, I like how they kind of delve into that. Put it away. I can't play with anything you can't play with.
Continue.
And they sort of humanize the five more as well, especially tigers, which I like. From an animation standpoint too, it's very well done. I kind of like how they. This isn't really spoiler. I kind of like how they go between the 2D and the 3D. I think that's done pretty well. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Now the thing about Kung Fu Panda 2, it is a lot more action driven than Kung Fu Panda 1. Kung Fu Panda 1 was very, very character driven, very story driven. I'm not inherently opposed to a movie being more action driven because I like action more. But Kung Fu Panda 2 goes a little bit too far in the action driven direction and takes away from what made the first one a good movie, is that it was very character driven. It was more about the relationship between Shifu and Po, and less about the Kung Fu, which the Kung Fu sort of came second. This one, the Kung Fu came more first. I would have liked to see sort of bring the two worlds together a bit better. Another big thing, and this is my big thing about kids' movies, and it's driving me nuts, kids' movies are too intense. Okay? Seriously, if you're a movie maker and you're watching this movie, kids' movies are too intense. You don't need to have every single character die. It doesn't need to happen.
They didn't.
Yeah, there was characters dying left, right, and center. There's people dying that the one scene to do with Poe's back. It's just there's just too much. Too much.
It wasn't too much. It wasn't like as bad as some of them.
There's at least 3 different kids in the audience who go, "Mommy, what's this?" Mom, when the kids start questioning why bad things are happening in their kids' movies aren't too intense. Bring it back in. Reel it back in. Kids' movies don't need to be intense. They're kids' movies. They're supposed to be lighthearted and fluffy. That's the point to a kids' movie.
They were lighthearted and fluffy.
It was, but it wasn't even. It was getting to the point where it wasn't being consistent. There's a moment where it's like, super slow motion, sad, and then they crack a joke and everyone's like, it's not consistent when it is trying to be serious. And kids' movies shouldn't at all be serious. There should be no point in a kids' movie that's serious. I'm having this issue more and more.
Take a deep breath.
It's bothering me. It's just too serious.
It's okay.
Too serious.
It's okay.
That being said, what do you want to give Kung Fu Panda 2?
Well, I think we should do what we do with all kids' movies. Rate it on a kids' level perspective and rate it on our perspective.
Okay.
On a kids' level perspective, I would probably give it like a 7, maybe.
If it gets a kids' movie, gets a 5.
Really?
It's a 5 from me. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, maybe a 7.
There's way too much intensity. There's way too much sadness. Same problem I had with Rango. Same problem I had with Marcy's moms. Kids' movies are getting to the point where they're just trying to make it too sad or too.
I'm gonna stop you right
angsty,
there. And bring up a reference to a movie which I feel is not a kids' movie, and it doesn't really work for the first half of the movie.
Up, yeah, it's the same thing with Up. You don't. Pixar movies are getting bad for it, but it's a lot lighter. Up was way too way too emotional. Yeah.
This isn't a review of that, so we're not going to go too far.
But it needs to be sort of spread a little bit more layered. Like with Toy Story 3, it was sprinkled throughout. It wasn't like sad scene, sad scene, sad scene.
Well, neither was this.
Really. And you get a lot of kids. You get 2. If more than one kid is asking what's happening and questioning what's happening to these characters in a confused way, that is too much. You can't have that many kids going, what's going on in this movie?
I disagree. I don't think it was that bad.
And Kung Fu Panda didn't have that. It was the perfect kids movie. Now, as I said, 5, maybe 4 as a kids movie. Yeah. Now, as a movie, for me, as a 20-year-old, it's a 7. Because I loved it. I thought it was great.
For me,
I thought the emotion, for me, it worked. It worked very well. There's a lot of sort of more intense scenes. As me, as a 20-year-old, but as a kid, it's just too much.
As a kid, I would give it a 7, maybe a 6.5. As a 19-year-old guy, probably an 8.
Wow, 8. Now, at this point, because I'm running a bit long, I'm actually going to take this into a part 2. So this is going to be the end of part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. I got more I want to talk about, so stay tuned for part 2.